Hey everyone, it's Linnea here for Trinity Stamps, and we are going to be taking a look at the Autumn Impressions release for August 2021. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to organize this rather than by theme. I'm going to organize this by product type. So let's take a look at stamps first. This first one is a large 4x11 stamp set, and this is the Fabulous stamp set. There are 17 stamps in this set. There is this large coffee cup stamp, and then there's a couple sentiments. Have a nice day, you're fabulous, thanks a latte, and you mean so much to me. So really cute sentiments. Then there's these cute little layering images where the coffee beans can layer. And there are 4 adorable little smiley faces that you can stamp in the center of any of these coffee cups to create a cute little coffee cup background. I think this is really fun, and I love that there's this long stamp that you can use to stamp on a slimline card, or you can use it down the center of an A7 card or an A2 card. Next up is the Pick of the Patch stamp set. This is a similar concept to the previous one, where it's this large 4x11 stamp set with a large pumpkin patch stamp. So you can stamp that on a slimline card or really any size card. The 3 sentiments are Happy Thanksgiving, Happy Halloween, and Hey Pumpkin. There are 2 individual pumpkins as well as 7 jack-o'-lantern faces that you can stamp in the center of any of these pumpkins, the individual or the ones in the pumpkin patch. There are not coordinating dies for the Pick of the Patch or for the Fabulous stamp sets. Now we're moving into stamp sets that have coordinating dies, and the first one is the Tada stamp set. This stamp set has 15 stamps, and the coordinating die set has 6 dies. What's fun about this stamp and coordinating die set is that there are a couple of stamps that you stamp once, and then the die set will die cut once, but it will cut it apart into a bunch of little images. So see these hands here, how there's 5 sets of those clapping hands. There's 1 stamp that you stamp once, and then 1 die that you line up and die cut once, but these are all going to cut out individually. Same thing with the sentiment that says, after God created you, he said, tada. That's all going to stamp once, cut once, but it's going to cut apart into different pieces so that you can arrange this on your card however you want. And I don't think I mentioned that this is a 4x6 stamp set. Here is the Autumn Impressions stamp and coordinating die set. This stamp set has 13 stamps, and the die set also has 13 dies. So that means that every single thing in the stamp set is going to have a coordinating die, including that Happy Thanksgiving sentiment. So here are the dies. I stamped them and cut them out with the dies, and you can see here how everything has that nice little white border. Even the sentiment. I love having coordinating die sets that cut out the sentiment. It makes it so easy to stamp this and then die cut it and have a dimensional sentiment that has that white border so that it will stand out from the background. And I absolutely love all of those floral and leafy pieces that you can use to create wreaths or gorgeous backgrounds too. And the Autumn Impressions stamp set is a 4x6 stamp set. Next up, we have the Beautiful Breeze stamp and the coordinating die set. This is a 4x8 stamp set with 12 stamps, and the die set has 3 dies. So this is another stamp and die set where you're going to be able to stamp that large stamp that's kind of going down the center of the stamp set, stamp that once, and you're going to have a bunch of little leaves, and then you're going to die cut once with that die off to the right there, and all those leaves will pop out individually with a little white border. Then there are also dies to cut that autumn greetings sentiment. So the tiny little leaves and the little kind of flourishes of the breeze don't have coordinating dies, but I think this is a really fun die set, how it's going to stamp once and cut once, and you're going to have a bunch of those little leaves, and then once again, I love how the sentiment is die cut out. This is the Harvest Rainbow stamp set, and this is a 6x8 stamp set with 26 stamps, and the coordinating die set has 11 dies. So this is a really fun stamp set that large rainbow image down at the bottom, you can use those individual bows up at the top to stamp over your black outline or whatever color outline you want and easily fill in and do some stamp layering. You can also stamp just those individual bows and then cut them out individually if you want to create a rainbow that way. So here you can kind of see what I mean. See how there's that full rainbow there made up of all those little autumn leaves, and you can stamp, layer those to create some easy color and die cut them all at once, or you can die cut each of those rainbows individually. There's also that pile of leaves, and then there are 2 dies for the sentiment. So how this works is you're going to stamp the sentiment and cut it out, and it's going to have a standard shadow, but then there's also a second die that you can use to create a backer. So you kind of have multiple layers of dimension here because you have your sentiment in one color, and then you're going to have that border, and then you're also going to have a backer. So lots of dimension and lots of possibilities with this Harvest Rainbow stamp set and the coordinating dies. Okay, here's a really fun one. This one is the Shake Your Bones 4x6 stamp set and the coordinating die set. This set has 13 stamps, and then the die set has 13 dies. So once again, another set where everything you stamp, you can also die cut. There are 4 skeletons, and they all kind of have cute little dancing poses. And then there's a top hat and a bow tie that you can use to dress up your skeletons. And then a whole bunch of adorably punny sentiments. So there are sentiments like, I thought you might find this card humorous. I can feel it in my bones. It's going to be a okay. Bonjour, break a leg, shake, rattle, and roll, and happy Halloween. So really cute sentiments, and of course the dies are going to cut out all of those sentiments as well. So when you stamp them, you're going to be able to cut them out with that little border. I've said it before, I love having dies that cut out the sentiments. I think it makes it very easy to create a bubble looked sentiment and pop that up on a card. So this set is definitely a cute little combo. Love this one. This is the Nightscapes Scene Builder stamp set. This is a 4x8 stamp set. The stamp set has 22 stamps, and the coordinating die set has 9 dies. So the die set is going to cut out the flying superhero, the little fairy, the ghost, the witch, and Santa's sleigh. It's also going to cut out those 4 different clouds, but what's really fun about the clouds is that it's going to cut them out without a border. So these kind of spooky or flat clouds are going to not have a border, so they're going to look more realistic. This stamp set pairs perfectly with the Moonlit Town die, and this is a cutout die. So you're going to be able to put this onto a piece of cardstock. I cut this out of a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch A2 card front, and it's going to cut out this adorable little neighborhood. And it's going to cut out all the little windows and everything, and then you can use the stamps and coordinating dies from the Nightscape Scene Builder stamp set to create little scenes. So whether you want to go Halloween or Christmas, you can even go, 4th of July with those fireworks. Even though there's not a coordinating die for those fireworks, it would be really fun to heat emboss them in the background and maybe do an ink blending resist. I've created a shaker card with this, and there's lots of great inspiration from the design team using the Nightscape Scene Builder stamp set with the coordinating dies along with that Moonlit Town cutout die. So here's another little combo that is sold separately, but I'm showing them together because they pair perfectly together. So this first one is the Trick or Drink stamp set, and this is a 3x4 stamp set. Sentiments read, "You've been boozed, a boo brew for you, happy Halloween, let's get smashed, raise your spirits, don't drink and fly, trick or drink, and you're fantastic." And the reason I'm showing these together is because it goes great with the Creepy Cocktails standalone die set. This has 13 dies, and you can use this to create some creepy Halloween cocktails. So I went ahead and I cut these pieces out, and I just quickly created some cute little drinks. So you can see there's a wine glass, there's like a short glass, there's a couple different stirs, a bone, a spider, and then like a little jack-o'-lantern. There's bubbles that you can create and little fangs too. And then what's really fun about the glasses, so like the wine glass and the short glass, is that it's one die, but it's going to cut a frame and then the cup itself. And then there's that layering piece so that you can create your spooky cocktail and have a spooky colored liquid in there. So you can see how fun these cocktails look with that different colored border. And then I use those little bubbles. I use the eyes to create some floating eyeballs in my drink, and then the fangs, of course. And then you can use these little drink stirrers interchangeably too. There's a lot of possibilities with this Creepy Cocktails die set, and the possibilities are even more when you use it in conjunction with that 3x4 trick or drink stamp set. So we're moving right along into dies now. Here are some standalone dies. The first up is the Cafe Cup Cutout Die Set. This is a single die that, again, it's just like that Moonlit Town cutout die where you're going to place this onto your card front, whatever size card front you want to use, and it's going to create this cutout. So to create this quick card front, all I did was take that light blue piece of cardstock, die cut that Cafe Cup cutout from it. Then I die cut that Cafe Cup cutout once more just from some white cardstock, and I backed that with some dark blue cardstock and added those white steam marks right on top, and you have a super easy card. This would pair perfectly with this die set. This is the Coffee Cut and Foil Die Set. This die set has 16 dies. You're going to be able to cut this coffee cup, and then it has the layer on there that's going to create those little outlines. It'll cut the word coffee with the backer. There's a little heart die that's going to cut the outline as well as that little center heart, and you can put that right in the middle of your coffee cup if you want. Then you're also going to be able to cut and layer together 3 cute little coffee beans. I cut the backers out of light brown cardstock and just layered some darker brown cardstock on top, and now you have those cute little beans. So you're also going to be able to use hot foil with the Coffee Cut and Foil die set. So instead of layering, like how I layered that outline of the coffee cup on top of the backer, you're going to be able to cut the backer and then use your hot foiling machine to use the hot foil die and press a foil outline into that. So instead of die cutting an outline, you're going to be able to hot foil that. Same thing with the word coffee, and then with the coffee beans as well. So if you don't want to layer cardstock, you can instead just cut the backer of those coffee beans or the coffee word die and use your hot foil system to add some foil details. This is the Star Trio Mini Slimline Die. So this is just one single die, but it's going to do a variety of things. It's going to cut out 3 stars, and you're going to have a cute little stitched border around the whole die and around each of those 3 stars. As well, there is an embossed outline of these stars. So you're going to have the cutout and then the embossed impression and then the stitched lines around each of those 3 stars. And then it's also going to cut out those 3 negative star pieces. So definitely use those in your projects. There is also another mini slimline die in this release, and this is the Oak Leaf Mini Slimline Die. This is similar to the previous slimline die in that it's one die, and it's going to cut out this panel, but it's also going to cut out these oak leaves. And the oak leaves, not only are going to have all those little pieces that you can paper piece back in, but you're going to have this detailed outline die and then just that single kind of skinny outline die of the oak leaf. So the paper piecing possibilities with this, you could go crazy paper piecing all those little pieces in and then have that detailed die. And then if you wanted to have that little outline die be even another color, that would make for a gorgeous autumn card. This die here is the Maple Leaf Slimline Die. So this is the full-size slimline die, and again, it's one die, and it's going to cut out that backer as well as those 3 maple leaves in the center, and it's similar to the oak leaf that you saw before, where you're going to get this fine detailed cut, and then you're also going to have just that outline die. So again, you can really layer these up to make this super detailed, or you can do just as I showed there and create this gorgeous background, and it does have those embossed lines going around the outside and then stitching for the leaves, and just layer in these detailed cuts, and you have a simple and gorgeous slimline card. Let's look at some cut and foil dies once again. So this one is the Autumn Rainbow Cut and Foil Die Set. This die set has 16 pieces. So there are 8 leaves that you're going to be able to cut out, and it'll just be solid leaves. And then there are 8 hot foil dies that you will use with whatever hot foil system you have to add foil details to the center of your leaf die cuts. Again, this is another one to create gorgeous wreath patterns or gorgeous foiled backgrounds. I would love to cut a whole bunch of these and use my hot foil system to add foil to the center of all of these and create a background by just popping up a bunch of these all over a card front with foam tape. I think that would be really pretty. And as you can see here, each one of those backer dies is going to have a hot foil die, so you can add foil to each of these dies. Next, we have the Maple Leaf Cut and Foil Die Set. This die set has 4 pieces. There's a backer die, then there's a detailed die, and then a super detailed die, and also that hot foil die. So I'm showing you the actual dies that cut first. You're going to cut the backer, and then you can use this first layering die, or you can use the backer with that third layering die that has that little fine detail lines. You can take those 2 detailed dies and stack them together for a fun look. You can even offset these. You don't have to stack them up right on top of each other. But I think it's really pretty to stack all 3 of these together, and you have amazing dimension and just a bit of color peeking out from each of those layers. Now, to use the hot foil die, you're going to need just those top 2 dies, the hot foil die and the backer die, and you're going to add your hot foil onto your maple leaf and then cut it out with that coordinating backer die. And instead of having a die cut layer, you're going to be able to have a hot foiled layer. Now, just like the maple leaf cut and foil die set, we have an oak leaf cut and foil die set. So same thing here, where you have your backer die, and then you have a first layering die, a second layering die, and then you also have that hot foil die. So I cut the backer out of orange, and then I have that first layering die from red, and you can see how those will work together. Or you can use just the backer die with that fine detail die. You can use that fine detail die with that middle die there. Or you can stack all 3 of them together. And again, you don't have to stack them directly on top of each other. You can absolutely offset them and create kind of like a fan effect. Or you can just cut a whole bunch of these and do a lot of different techniques with them. And then for the hot foiling die, you're going to need just that hot foil die and your backer die. So you'll add foil with your hot foil system and then cut that out with the backer dial. And instead of having a die cut paper piece, you will have foil. Here's the Stitched Wins die set. This die set has 5 dies. I left mine together so you could see what this looks like when you die cut this all together. Now, instead of cutting out an image, this actually just presses these stitch details into a piece of cardstock so you can create gorgeous and subtle backgrounds. And you can separate them or keep these dies together. The Brew Die Set has 10 dies, and you can use these dies to create an adorable little pumpkin spice mug or a spooky little jack-o'-lantern mug. And you're going to use that 1 mug backer die and just build upon that depending on what kind of little autumn drink you want to make. So here's where I took those stitch dies and cut them out from a slightly darker shade of orange and layered them up. I used the whipped cream, the cinnamon stick, and the leaf with the little vine on that one. To make this a little spookier, I used that same die to cut out a coffee mug. But instead of making this a pumpkin spice drink, I created that little ghost steam and created the jack-o'-lantern face with the little spider hanging off the edge. So one die set, and you can use this for Halloween or autumn cards. Here's the Halloween cup dress up die set. This die set has 9 dies, and you're going to use these in conjunction with the Trinity cup card die set or the coffee cup card die set to create shaped dies. And instead of having just a shaped teacup card or a shaped coffee cup card, you can create spooky Halloween coffee cups or teacups. So you can create a cute little ghosty face or a jack-o'-lantern face. And instead of a tea bag hanging off the side here, I have those adorable spiders hanging off the side. And don't forget that you can always create these cute little faces on just a regular card. It doesn't have to be on a teacup or coffee cup. Definitely use them anywhere you want. This is the Slimline Skelly Die Set. This die set has 6 dies, and it's going to cut out a backer as well as all the bones for your skeleton, a hat, a little heart, a bow tie, and then the band to go across the bottom of the hat. Now this guy is called Slimline Skelly for a reason. He is perfect for slimline cards. He is just about 7 inches tall, and I love him. He's super cute. Love how you can add all those bones on, and then you can also add some little elements to him with the top hat. I've already glued that band onto the hat. You can add his heart and a bow tie to dress him up a little bit, or you can just keep him plain. So style him however you want using those extra pieces in the Slimline Skelly die set. The Center Stage interactive add-on die set is made to pair perfectly with the Center Stage Slimline die set, which is previously released from Trinity Stamps, but this is going to allow you to create an interactive stage card. This has 20 dies, and you're going to be able to build sentiments that say, bravo, you're a superstar, and there's a little spotlight, there's a microphone, there's cameras, there's lights, there's stars, lots of little add-on pieces in this die set. And here's the interactive card that this is going to make. I put this together very quickly, and there is an amazing tutorial on how to build this interactive stage on the Trinity Stamps product intro YouTube channel. So I will make sure that that is linked at the end of the video at the end screen. I'll make sure that that video is linked so that you can watch that fabulous tutorial and see just how to build and put together the Center Stage interactive add-on die set. The last die in the release is the Curtain Call coordinating die set. This is meant to coordinate with the Curtain Call 6x9 3-piece layering stencil set, which is previously released from Trinity Stamps. I thought I would just show you how this die works. You're going to be able to cut out that scallop, and then also there's this mini scallop that it just has one cutting edge. So you can create as tall or as thin of a design as you want. Let's move into stencils. There are 3 stencils to show off. This first one is the Slimline Layered Forest Layering Stencil Set. And because it's slimline, it was easier to show on camera going this way rather than the other way. But there are 3 main pieces. Then you're also going to get all the negative pieces to pop into the trees so you can do easy masking. I quickly stenciled this out using 3 shades of gray and black ink. So I started with that backmost tree, and I did that in a lighter color, and then a slightly darker color for the middle trees, and then the trees that I wanted to be closest to me, I did in a darker color. And you can see that took me minutes to make, and it's a really fun dimensional background. So that is the Slimline Layered Forest Layering Stencil Set. The next one is the Seasonal Winds stencil, and this is a 6x6 stencil. You're going to get that main stencil piece, and again, those pieces that you can pop into the stencil to create some easy layering and masking techniques. I stenciled this one out for you too, just so that you could see how this looks ink blended, and this is on a 6x6 piece of cardstock. This last stencil is the Layered Rainbow 6x9 2-piece stencil set. So you're going to get those two main stencil pieces. Each one has a cloud, and then each one of those has the 3 bows from the rainbow. So you can build a traditional 6-colored rainbow. You're also going to get those negative pieces. And again, I stenciled these out for you just so you could see this. And check out that rainbow. It's so easy to make. You don't even need to mask anything to create those 6 bows of the rainbow. But if you wanted to pop in those pieces and mask over the rainbow, those pieces are included, so it's really easy to do that. There are also some new clay embellishments. Here are the TNT Pop embellishment mix. These little guys are super cute, and I love using clay embellishments in shaker cards or even just to glue on cards. This one is the Sunshine Crafter embellishment mix, and you can see there's a whole mix of different shapes and shades of flowers in this mix. Then there is also the Handmade Holiday embellishment mix, and this one is probably my favorite. Check it out. There's all those little gingerbread men, peppermint candies, there's red and green sprinkles, and even some snowmen in this Handmade Holiday embellishment mix. There are some new tools in the Trinity Stamp Shop, and this one is the Trinity Stamps Pressure Pal tool. It has a handle, and then there's a firm felt pad on the bottom, and this is meant to be used in conjunction with your stamping platform, whichever one you have. And once you stamp that down, you're just going to use your Trinity Stamps Pressure Pal tool to press down on the lid of your stamping platform, and it creates easy stamping pressure for you. So on the screen now are a couple videos. I did put up the video of the Center Stage Interactive Add-on Die Set so that you can watch that great tutorial on how that die set is assembled. Thanks for watching, and I hope that you've enjoyed this video reviewing the Autumn Impressions release from Trinity Stamps. I have a link in the video description below to shop the whole release. See you later. Bye.